What the fuck is going on with crypto? We're going up, we're going down. We can't seem to get regulation, right? All that I think is changing with this new administration. We're going to be watching Brad Garlinghouse absolutely wreck the mainstream media on his 60 Minutes interview. You're going to get my reaction and more.
Now, Margaret Brennan on assignment for 60 Minutes.
Rarely in American politics has a new industry spent so much money with such apparent impact as the cryptocurrency business did in the last election. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are digital assets created and maintained by networks of computers. Mystifying to some and mesmerizing to others, they're used for transactions and as high-risk investments with potentially high rewards. At least 17 million Americans own crypto.
Damn. 17 million Americans at least own crypto. It's a big number.
And how the industry should be regulated in the US has been the subject of much dispute.
You know what I really want to know before this even starts? I want to know if she actually knows what cryptocurrency is, or if she's legit just reading a script talking about its transactions. Bitch, that's what Ripple is. but the cryptocurrencies as a whole is not just transactions. There's so much more to it. She probably has no clue what crypto is.
With an important piece of legislation now before Congress, perhaps it's no surprise that big crypto companies were among the top donors in this past election. And since the election, the price of Bitcoin has hit record highs. It isn't clear whether the crypto industry will get Congress or the incoming Trump administration.
Okay, first off, I do want to say this. Expect her to do what every other mainstream media pundit does, right? And just trash anything that's better for humanity, anything that's against the status quo, which is what she's doing right now already. She's already starting off doing that. It is a fact that Donald Trump and the administration and politicians alike are pro-crypto. We have it. It's very, 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 it's abundantly clear. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about here.
To craft the regulation or the legitimacy that they seek. But they've been investing a whole lot of their own cash to get something.
Bernie Moreno!
In the final months of a hotly contested race for a Senate seat in Ohio, Republican Bernie Moreno received $40 million of positive ads from a political action committee known as a super PAC.
Defend American Jobs is responsible for the content of this ad.
The ads didn't mention cryptocurrency at all, but they were paid for by crypto companies, and they helped Moreno defeat Democrat Sherrod Brown.
This is a disappointment.
The chairman of the Senate Banking Committee and an outspoken critic of crypto.
In a close election, that kind of money makes a huge difference, particularly in the end of a cycle. Do you think you tip the scales?
Do I think that?
Those of you that are new, by the way, this is Brad Garlinghouse. He's the CEO of XRP and the Ripple Foundation. And just to give you some clarity on what Ripple even does, just so you guys, because a lot of you guys are probably like, okay, well, what the hell is XRP and Ripple if you're new to crypto? It's a payment processor like Swift. Money is transacted all over the world through a financial system called Swift. It's the Swift banking system. And all that is a ledger, right, that makes transactions go here, there, and tracked, right? XRP is more of a decentralized Swift, a faster, cheaper way to transact money. I mean, fractions and fractions of a penny to transact across the world versus, 2, 3, 4, sometimes upwards of 10 to 15% just to send money to another country. That's why I think the banking system and Gary Gensler and the SEC have been fighting XRP so hard, because it's going to eliminate a lot of fees and a lot of money. We're talking, billions and billions and billions of dollars in revenue from Swift and the banking system. And again, that's why they've been stifling them. But just to give you some clarity and some context.
That putting that amount of money in the Ohio election had an impact? Absolutely.
Crypto for all of us is...
Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of a company called Ripple, whose cryptocurrency XRP became the third largest in the world this past week. Ripple and 2 other companies contributed $144 million to super PACs that supported pro-crypto Republicans and Democrats.
Do I think we had an impact?
Put that into perspective too. 140 to 150 million dollars, right? That's crazy. The entire Kamala Harris campaign, right? They spent $1 billion on her campaign, right? This super PAC, mainly funded by XRP, Ripple, and other cryptos, we'll get into that in another video, right? 150 million, that's 15%, right? It's 15% of what the entire money put behind the Kamala Harris campaign, which was more money than any president in history. So just put that into perspective. The crypto industry they're ready to fight, and I'm super excited for it. So
To elect a Democratic senator in Michigan, Alyssa Slotkin? Yes, absolutely. Do I think we had an impact in Arizona? A Democratic senator in Arizona, Gallego? Absolutely.
Overall, crypto companies contributed 1/3 of all direct corporate contributions to super PACs. Of the 29 Republicans and 33 Democrats the industry backed in congressional races, 85% won.
It's incredible.
So you see this election as a major victory.
For sure.
But some people will look at that and say, you teamed up and bought an election.
It's either they voted.
These fucking industry plants. I swear to God, bro. Mainstream media, they're never gonna get it. This is why they're dying. Some people would say that you teamed up and you bought an election. Wait a minute. That doesn't happen everywhere else in every other industry. They don't all try to do that. That's what super PACs are for, right? I love how she's trying to make it look like he's like this evil man trying to like control the world and be powerful, and fucking mainstream media, dude.
Voters voted. We educated voters, as many industries do, about candidates.
But you helped supercharge the candidates with the money in the coffers, right? On
We
whatever
absolutely did.
is they wanted to talk about.
That's absolutely right.
So in your mind, is the message for any lawmaker looking to run for office that they have to take your industry seriously, fear your industry?
I think.
Are you trying to fearmonger people in the industry? Like, sorry, I had to stop it, because that's all they do. That's all they do is twist words and try to make things look a certain way, right? You ever thought of television, right? We're watching this, you're watching the TV, you're watching 60 Minutes, right? Tell a vision. She's straight up trying to tell you a vision that is not true.
All citizens should want people in Congress, on the Senate and the House, who are going to look to how do we use technologies in a way to benefit citizens.
Wow, what a brilliant idea, right? First of all, thank you, Brad, for saying that. But what they're trying to do is they have a technology, blockchain technology, right? They have a technology in XRP that makes payment systems much cheaper, which makes things cheaper for you and I, but it loses money for the powers that be. It loses money to the banking system. It loses money to the payment processing systems, right? Again, remember, it's not about you, it's about them. Don't forget it. And that's why they're attacking the crypto industry.
But the best news for the crypto industry came at the top of the ticket.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
So Javi and I, my producer, we were here. My beautiful fiance, Rachel, she was also with us. And we were literally in the same room watching Trump speak, which was electric, amazing. I can't believe I actually got to see that happen. And I remember him saying this, and it makes a lot of sense, right? And this is what I said to you in the beginning of the video, that like what she was saying is not true. Like, oh, we're not sure if the Trump administration is going to be pro crypto, is essentially what she was saying. Like, no, what the fuck are you, bitch? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, he's literally said it. He wants us to build here, innovate here, mine Bitcoin here in the US. Why? Because he doesn't want, he's not stupid. The man's not stupid. And people have been surrounding him, making him wake up and realize The fact is that this is a technology that's going to be here, not just Ripple and XRP, but blockchain and cryptos as a whole is going to be part of our society, part of our everyday life. It's not going anywhere. So why not innovate here? Why not regulate here? Why push it offshore? That makes zero sense, right? That makes absolutely no sense. Not only that, at this conference, and I don't know if they're going to say it in this video, but at this conference, he also said that he wants to make Bitcoin part of our strategic reserve, right? That means gold, silver, right? And a couple other things, but oil and stuff like that, and putting Bitcoin there as well. Why do you think we're at all-time highs already on Bitcoin, right? He's not even president yet. Everything has just been everything has just been exploding because it is very clear that not only him, but politicians alike are starting to see the writing on the wall.
We'll get it done.
Before this cycle, in June of 2021, Donald Trump was saying Bitcoin seems like a scam. Do you understand what happened with that transformation?
Before he understood
I didn't
it.
have a front row seat to that. I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
Big news. The World Liberty Financial token sale is now live.
3 weeks before the election, Trump announced the launch of a new digital coin that he had a financial stake in.
Is that a
And this is a good point. So LibertyFi is Trump's DeFi token, and those of you that are new in crypto, I'm not saying go get that token or buy any tokens. Obviously, do your own research, invest at your own risk. I'm not a financial advisor. Disclaimer, blah blah blah. But one sector that I think is going to do really well, not just in this run, not in the next couple of months or year, but in the next 10 and 20 years, is going to be decentralized finance. What decentralized finance is essentially you're able to become your own bank, right? You can lend your money, you can lend your crypto to yourself. Imagine being able to park your Bitcoin somewhere, right? So you have say you have an entire Bitcoin. I have clients that end up buying Bitcoins, right? Like real life. I have clients that literally just bought a Bitcoin at like 60, 70,000. And I'm like, imagine a Bitcoin being worth a couple $1 million in 10 years or 20 years. And you're in retirement and you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, but then you also don't want to have a bank custody it. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to put it on a decentralized finance platform where I freeze my Bitcoin. You literally just send it over. It freezes, right? It grows up and down, whatever it does in value, right? If it grows over time, cool. You have more money. If it's a store of value, so it's going to grow like gold eventually. But you can actually lend yourself money because whatever mechanism, whatever DeFi protocol, right, that you're putting your Bitcoin on, right, it will pay you essentially an interest rate. It'll pay you yield, and then you can live off of your Bitcoin yield and never sell your Bitcoin, and then pass your Bitcoin on to your children and keep on doing this and put it in an irrevocable trust where they can never sell it. They can only live off of it, right? Check that out. If you're new to crypto, it's something that you're going to want to look into.
conflict of interest in your point of view?
Whether or not it's a conflict of interest, the voters have knowingly said, we want this person to be our president. The voters have spoken more so than I have.
Trump's cabinet picks have had very positive things to say about crypto. Here's what his choice for Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, told Fox Business News.
Crypto is about freedom, and the crypto economy
about
is here
freedom.
to stay.
Perhaps most significantly, this past week, Trump selected a new head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Paul Atkins, a former SEC commissioner who's done some consulting for crypto companies, is expected to take a very different approach than Biden-era chair Gary Gensler, who filed more than 120 lawsuits against crypto.
120 fucking lawsuits against cryptocurrencies, not just XRP Ripple, right? Cardano, Solana, and many more of your favorites, right? He has been attacking them left and right, serving different crypto companies Wells notices, going after Coinbase. Think about Coinbase. Coinbase is publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. You can buy Coinbase stock, right? And how they got up there, they obviously did something right because they had to go through the SEC, and they did, right? And then out of nowhere, Gary Gensler's sending them Wells notices and like fucking telling them that basically they're breaking the law. And Coinbase is like, we're doing the same thing that we told you we were going to do in the beginning. We went through all of your tests and you said, cool, we're good. How do you think we got listed? How do you think Coinbase got listed on the New York Stock Exchange? And what Gary Gensler in the banking system, because remember, this is one of the things you guys got to understand. You got to wake up to this. If you haven't woke up to this yet, this is very important. Gary Gensler right? He was a wing to the banking system. He was basically their bitch. Because this guy used to work at MIT. They're probably going to talk about that in the video. He used to work at MIT. He was a professor at MIT, right? Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is the most prestigious tech school in the fucking world, right? And he was teaching people about blockchain and crypto and how it's going to change the world. All of a sudden, he gets this job, right, as the SEC chair, and out of nowhere, he flips the switch and he's just against crypto. It makes no sense other than he was either blackmailed, and I don't know if this is true. I'm just saying it's like hypothetical, right? He was either blackmailed or they paid him a lot of fucking money to just basically change his mind. Regardless, they want to stifle innovation. They've been using Gary Gensler to stifle XRP and other cryptos because what's going to happen is it's going to take the power away from them and give it back to the people, period. End of fucking story. So the fact that the Trump administration's coming in, we're at the Bitcoin National Conference, and what did they say? What did Trump say? I'm going to fire Gary Gensler on day one. Everybody liked it so much, the crowd went crazy. He said it again. He literally was like, "Oh, you guys like that? Let me say it again." Right? And he did his, his trademark, like, "You're fired," Gary, right? And so this is so bullish for crypto, guys. I'm so excited for what's to come.
Companies. Last year, Gensler told the House Financial Services Committee,
I've never seen a field that's so non-compliant with laws written by Congress.
Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says the SEC's approach was the main reason his company and two others created the biggest industry super PAC called Fairshake.
People are like, why did these companies come together and organize and say, this matters? And it's a reaction to a war on crypto.
So if there had been a different SEC chair than Gary Gensler,
I'm not sure Fairshake would exist.
Really?
Absolutely.
In response,
it wouldn't need to exist. Like, it's just, again, the politics and money and the banking system and the world's a dirty world, and this is their way of fighting back. I love how she pointed out in the beginning, right, that like, oh, like, you're basically like manipulating politicians with your money, and he's like, yeah, doesn't everybody else? Like, what, we're not allowed to? We're just supposed to sit back and just let us get beat down, right? When we have something that's going to help people and change the world and make things cheaper, faster, better. So
an SEC spokesperson said any amount spent by the crypto industry on legal defense or influence peddling pales in comparison to the savings lost by crypto investors to frauds and failures.
It was definitely a war on crypto.
John Reed Stark, former chief of internet enforcement at the SEC, says he owns no cryptocurrency and has never worked for the industry.
Yeah, he doesn't own it, but his wife does.
Like Garlinghouse, he believes voters have given President-elect Trump a mandate to govern.
As far as these election results are concerned, the clear mandate is the SEC needs to lay off crypto, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
But that doesn't mean this former...
That, out of this entire thing so far, is the most important thing you should have picked up on. That the SEC needs to lay off crypto, and that is what's going to happen. And that's why we are coming in to the biggest bull run that we've ever seen. And if you guys think that we're almost done, we are just getting started. You guys realize that President Trump is not even president yet, and Bitcoin's at 100 grand. And you guys think that we're close to a top? Okay, good luck. You should sell now. That's fine. Go ahead, sell now so I can buy the dip.
SEC official thinks the agency's actions were wrong.
Crypto is a scourge. It's not something that you want in your society. It has no utility. It's just pure speculation. Remember, there's no balance sheet to crypto. There's no financial statements.
You're talking about SEC filings. There's no public disclosure mandate.
Exactly. Nothing, but also there's no audit, inspection, examination, net capital requirements.
All these things that he's saying too, the crazy part about it is that like the SEC's job is to make sure that they protect the consumer, but they won't create regulation, and everything that he just said, they're avoiding doing all of that, which is really what will protect the consumer, right? So in a sense, they've been hurting the consumer, but saying that, no, we're protecting the consumer, when really they've been protecting themselves. And this is the reason why we voted for Donald Trump. This is the reason why we want crypto to win, because these guys, they think they can pull a fast one over us, and they can't anymore. It doesn't work that way. We're starting to wake up to their fucking bullshit.
no licensure of the individuals involved, and there's no transparency into it. That creates real systemic risk, not just risk for investors. But the other part that people don't really talk about enough are the dire externalities that are enabled by crypto.
What do you mean?
Every single crime you can conceive of is easier to do now because of crypto.
Okay, sure. So all the more reason to fucking regulate it, which they have not done and they will not do until Gary's gone.
Especially ransomware, human sex trafficking, sanctions evasion.
And I do want to point out that's not necessarily true. The number one currency that's used for all of these illicit transactions and things that they're saying is the US dollar. That is a fact.
Money laundering. North
US
Korea
dollar.
is
The US dollar is the number one money laundering tool in the world. That's bullshit.
financing their nuclear weapons program using crypto.
That is true.
Sam Bankman-Fried's conviction for fraud at one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world is a case study of what can happen without proper oversight. Based in the Bahamas, the FTX exchange collapsed in 2022, imperiling $8 billion of customer assets, much of it beyond the reach of U.S. regulators.
You know, let me tell you a little story about this. This is crazy. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like actually kind of funny. So FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, they were, oh my God, there was so many things going on behind the scenes. They were using QuickBooks to run it to sorry, hold on. They were literally using QuickBooks, right, to track all of their transactions and dude, like they had, I can't believe that this happened. But there's a you know what we should do? We should do a video. I'll do a video with you guys on the conspiracy I have behind FTX, because FTX, next to George Soros, FTX actually donated more money to the Democrat Party and to Democrat politicians than anyone or anything outside of George Soros. Look it up. Fact, right? And the shit that was going on behind the scenes could have all been avoided if there was regulation, but I don't think they wanted to. I think Sam was the fall guy. I think they knew that this was going to happen. They knew everything that was going on. It's like, listen, here's what's crazy. You know, you're telling me that we didn't know what was going on at FTX behind the scenes as the United States government. We didn't know this. But so Donald Trump can literally send a message to the leader of the Taliban and text him a picture of his house and say, if you ever hurt any American, right, while on my watch, right, that'll be the last time you ever hurt anybody. And then sends him a picture of his house from that we got on a satellite, right? Like that literally happened while he was president. But we didn't know what was going on at FTX. Come on. That was a money-making machine for the Democrat Party.
There were crimes there. There was fraud there.
I view that as not dissimilar than if we say Bernie Madoff went to jail, that doesn't make every hedge fund manager a criminal.
Of course.
There's a lot of good actors in crypto.
Ripple's CEO says his company employs 900 people and has been working with regulated financial institutions to create a faster and cheaper way for people to send money overseas. XRP is the digital currency it uses to do that. But Ripple also sold the digital currency XRP to investors, and XRP now trades on exchanges where people can buy or sell it in the hope of making a profit. So the SEC sued your company in December of 2020. That was the tail end of the Trump administration. Why?
Well, their allegation was that Ripple in our sales of XRP represented the sale of an unregistered security.
A security like a stock or another asset class.
Correct.
Garlinghouse says Ripple has spent over $150 million fighting the SEC in court, arguing that the digital currency XRP shouldn't be subject to the agency's registration and disclosure requirements, as if it were a stock offering.
I went to Harvard Business School. I think I'm reasonably intelligent about something like what is a security. So never once had I considered the possibility that, okay, maybe XRP is a security.
I've read every case, I've read every motion, and judges have said over and over again that these are securities. And they haven't said it like this is a close call. They said this is an obvious call.
Brad Garlinghouse disputes that. He also argues that existing securities laws don't fit well with the new technology.
So that's not necessarily true. Again, that guy, he's another industry plant. There's something called the Howey test. Look it up. Number one. Number two, what they're getting into, they're probably going to get into this next. But the reality of it is we're using the same laws and regulations, right, from 70 years ago, 80 years ago. We've never had this technology before. So how can we sit here and say, well, all the things, all these laws and rules and regulations we created 70, 80, 100 years ago apply to today's technology? It doesn't make any sense. The world is a completely different place, right? And that's probably what Brad's going to argue here.
And Congress needs to draft new rules for these new digital assets.
There we go.
We haven't been asking to be deregulated. We've been asking to be regulated. So we have been saying, hey, look, just give us clear rules of the road.
So what was your strategy with putting money to work in the election? Was it to then go write those rules of the road that you want written?
No, our goal has been to simply get rules written. I mean, the good news is there was a...
not just any rules.
Well, there was a...
You know, what if, okay, let's just say, because his reaction there was, it looked like he was somewhat lying. Like, he does want to write the rules. Let's be real. Like, are we kidding me? Like, come on. Garlinghouse wants to write the fucking rules. The crypto guys want to write the rules, and they will write the rules. That's the thing. That's why he's meeting with Donald Trump. That's why Elon Musk is part of everything. Vivek Ramaswamy, right? That's why they're all getting in on crypto. And you have Peter Thiel coming in, and a few others we'll talk about. You know, I'm sure they'll come up in this video, or you'll talk about in the future. But all these people are coming together because they want to write the rules, right? And that's very clear. Right. I think he was sidestepping that, not answering it directly. But I mean, someone has to. Like, who better to write the rules than the guys that own and run the top cryptocurrency companies? Charles Hoskinson, right? Vitalik Buterin from Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, right? They're all meeting with politicians and presidents because they're all going to come together and they're going to write the rules. Because it's a new technology and we need to write the rules so that we can regulate it. It's actually common sense. I love how she tries to twist it like they're being evil, but it's like, bitch, it's common sense. Clearly, you don't know anything about this.
A bill passed this summer in the House, bipartisan support, called FIT 21.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Republican bill. 71 Democrats supported it.
That was a huge
The
bill.
bill is passed.
That was a great bill for crypto.
FIT 21 tries to create a new regulatory framework for digital assets. While the SEC will still play a role, the legislation gives more responsibility for regulating cryptocurrencies to the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which oversees futures markets for everything from gold to pork bellies and already has some jurisdiction over Bitcoin.
The SEC is about maybe 10 times the size of the CFTC. The SEC's mandate is one of investor protection. They have legions of attorneys who go out and do these inspections, exams.
It's so funny because, like I said earlier, the SEC's whole goal is to protect the consumer, and they will not regulate crypto, which in turn hurts the consumer. Again, why? Ask yourself, why is that? I know the answer. Do you? Put it in the comments, by the way. Make sure you guys like the video if you're still here watching. Also, make sure you guys are following for more of these reaction videos. You're going to learn a lot. And I know you guys want crypto. I know you guys want to learn about this stuff because this stuff is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. So make sure you guys like, share, and follow.
Examinations and audits. The CFTC is more about the integrity of the marketplace. I don't blame the crypto industry for wanting to be under the CFTC. It's a much easier regulatory regime.
It has bipartisan support and it passed the House.
It doesn't surprise me at all that it has the support it has because, again, it doesn't pay for a member of Congress or the Senate, whoever you're talking about, doesn't pay for them to be anti-crypto. There's no one that's going to give them contributions because of that.
Lawmakers from both parties told us crypto firms will not escape scrutiny since there are consumer protections in the bill. And while it's not clear whether Republican leaders will reintroduce FIT 21 in the new Congress, there is bipartisan agreement that something must be done to plug regulatory gaps and prevent confusion in a market that already exists.
Where is the United States better served? Are we served by creating clear rules of the road and having this industry thrive here at home? Or should we push it offshore where people are less protected?
But even some of the big.
Why the fuck would you want to push cryptocurrency offshore, the fastest growing asset class that the world has ever seen? Why would you want to push it offshore? There's only one reason. It's because it's a threat to what we have today. It's a threat to the banking system, right? Or maybe two reasons. Or you want to destroy the United States. You don't want the United States to innovate. Someone else will innovate. Other countries will innovate, and we will lose our world superpower or our world reserve status, right? Thank fucking God for Donald fucking Trump.
Financial names on Wall Street have been skeptical of crypto. Jamie Dimon called it pet rock.
There are big skeptics, I think, anytime a new technology, a new industry emerges.
It's funny, yet Jamie Dimon calls Bitcoin a pet rock, and it's for money laundering and this and that, when really the US dollar is the biggest money laundering scheme in the world. Not only that, but Jamie Dimon allows his high identity clients to buy Bitcoin. But he's against Bitcoin. Figure that one out.
The counter to what you're describing is the most successful ETF ever in the United States.
Exchange traded fund.
Was the Bitcoin ETF.
The fastest as well, not just the most successful, right? The fastest growing ETF in history is Bitcoin. Think about that for a minute.
The Bitcoin ETF went live, I think, in January of this year, and attracted more assets in a faster amount of time than any ETF ever before.
Exchange traded funds, or ETFs, are like mutual funds. Offered by well-known investment firms and big banks, they make it easy for people to invest in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies without directly buying it themselves. Even Jamie Dimon's bank offers clients investments in these assets he once described as pet rocks.
Huh?
Am I surprised?
What was that? Huh? What did I tell you? Oh, because there's money involved? Oh, because there's fees involved? Oh, because it's actually here to stay, and it's not what they say, it's what they do. Say it with me. It's not what the leadership says, it's what they actually do. Follow the money.
That these big banks have gotten into the crypto space? No, because there's huge amounts of money to be made in fees.
Do you think that everyday people who want to make money in the crypto space understand the risk that they assume?
I think many people understand it's a volatile market, and I think many people, choose to participate. Many people.
And what is she implying? Like what? Because you can lose money that you shouldn't have access to it, and we should protect you from it, just like we should protect you from freedom of speech? Fuck you.
Will choose to participate in the gambling market. Also very risky. Should we, as a government, tell?
We're going to shut down Las Vegas because people have gambling problems and they can lose money if they go to Las Vegas? Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about here?
People how they should and shouldn't use their hard-earned money.
With the value of Ripple's XRP currency up more than 300% since the election, Brad Garlinghouse recently announced the company was putting another $25 million into the industry super PAC Fairshake. With that donation, Fairshake already has $103 million to spend on pro-crypto candidates in the midterm elections 2 years from now.
That's going to be fucking awesome. All right, so let's recap. Actually, I don't even want to recap. You guys got it. What I want to talk about is the last thing that she just said. Over $100 million ready to be deployed. That's we haven't even, Trump hasn't even taken office yet. There's already there's going to be probably $200 or $300 million by the time we get to the midterm elections, right? This is super bullish. What this does is it's going to bring more pro-crypto politicians into the space. And I think we're coming into the super cycle of crypto. Those of you that are in the older generation that remember the dot-com boom and you were invested in the dot-com boom, right? You're about to live through the crypto.com boom in the coming 5 years. The next 5 to maybe 7 years is going to be the crypto.com boom, in my opinion, right? And that's going to be led by regulation, guys like him, super PACs, politicians alike, presidents like Donald Trump that are ready to turn the page, and not the way that Kamala says it and the way that Tim Walton, his creepy wife, are saying it. No, turn the fucking page from the bullshit that they have been feeding down our throats, the lies and the manipulation, right? That we see in the banking system, right? The corruption that we've seen around the world, right? That's what we're going to be turning the page from, right? And that's coming. And I can almost guarantee that. I mean, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see the future, but I mean, like, after watching this, and if you dabble in crypto just a little bit more, you'll see the fucking writing is on the wall, right? It's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. So make sure you guys like, share, and follow. And in the comments, very important. I want to know what you guys think, right? Questions that you guys may have that I can make some videos on. Thank you guys for watching.